Hello everyone. First news update for 24th of March, and as you can see, I'm on Red Square right now, Moscow, Russia. 10 o'clock in the morning, and I have prepared quite a number of news on some interesting and major developments, and hopefully you will find this update informative and interesting. As always, full update will be published on my Patreon and Boosty pages, and one or two short clips on YouTube and Rumble channels. And if members of our bigger community from those platforms want to have access to full update, hopefully they will join us on Patreon or the Boost team. Anyways, I hope you have a good day. It is a Monday, so successful week to all of you, dear friends, and let's go through some news now. And although I guess it is better second to just show you some views here. Kremlin, of course, St. Basil's Cathedral, because of the sun, you know, video may not be as and this is a GUM, by the way, famous shopping mall right on the Red Square, and there that red building is a historical museum, also extremely popular among locals and the tourists. So okay, let's go through some news now, and first of all I'll give you an update from Russian Defense Ministry that during the night time, early hours of this morning, Russian air defense systems on duty intercepted 28 drones that were launched by Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky. To be more precise, 17 drones were shot down over the Rostov region, 6 drones over the Voronezh region, 4 over the Belgorod, and 1 drone over the Bryansk regions. Unfortunately, Kiev regime still has capabilities to launch these long-range strikes in Russian direction due to NATO support. But you know, one day, all of them will pay heavy price for this terrorist attacks on Russia. That's for sure. All of them who are involved in this terrorist activity, obviously. Also, dear friends, Russian Defense Ministry shared with public information that Sribna settlement in the DPR, this is a Pokrovsk direction, was completely liberated by Russian forces. And same time, yesterday later evening, some Telegram channels start report that after almost a week of attempts to break into Belgorod region that Kiev regime was conducting while sending on suicidal missions its armored groups, several Russian Telegram channels yesterday reported that unfortunately some of the units of Kiev regime managed to reach settlement of Demidovka and to dig in, although same time that this information was shared on Telegram channels, other sources were reporting that even though Kiev regime's formation, some of the units did manage to reach outskirts of this settlement right on the border between the Belgorod region and their Kiev-controlled territory, Russian troops conducted counteroffensive operations, counter-terrorist operations, and neutralized this invading force. It is difficult to say what is the situation currently, but I guess it is a possibility that around this settlement, this village, battles continue until now, and the village itself may be disputed for this moment. This village of Demidovka. In any case, during these attacks that I was reporting last week on Belgorod region direction, Kiev regime, according to reports that I see in the media and from Defense Ministry, Kiev regime already lost about 500 military personnel and over 50 different type of armored vehicles. And what they achieve? I mean, you tell me, dear friends, what they achieve while sacrificing entire battalion. They managed to break through a border and reach outskirts of their tiny village right next to a border, and 500 people were lost for that. I mean, this operation does make no sense. Some experts are arguing that Kiev regime was conducting these offensives before meeting would take place between Kiev regime and the Washington representatives that happened yesterday in Riyadh. Maybe this is true, I don't know. I cannot tell you, but in my personal opinion, this operation that Kiev regime conducted does not make no sense whatsoever. If they were trying to divert attention from disaster that Kiev regime and its armed forces experienced in the Kursk salient, well, I mean, as a diversion, this operation also not really gonna be seen as something of effective because of the high losses. And after all, even pro-Ukrainian extreme Russophobe Western propagandists like Robke, by the way, these so-called journalists from Bild, even that personality is hysterical about these attacks on the Belgorod direction, especially because I mean, it seems like I saw several of his posts, and it seems like he does not really cares about lives of citizens of Ukraine that were sacrificed during these attacks, but he does cares about German military equipment that he saw in dozens of videos from area that were destroyed by Russian forces. And as I already said, over 50 different type of vehicles, by the way, mine clearing vehicles, Leopard tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and so on were destroyed in that direction, majority Western made. So today probably we will learn some more clarity will be in this topic. But yet again, to me personally, for now, despite all the information that is available, this attempt of Kiev regime to break into Belgorod region and establish control over these few borderline villages, I mean, it really does not make no sense, because if Zelensky thinks his negotiating position is gonna be a little stronger by this, I mean, he is so mistaken. You know, if anything, his positions will be weaker because Moscow will have less incentive to continue any talks at all. You know, at least until these psychopaths, Zelensky, Budanov, Sirsky, and the rest of them are in their positions, right? Yermak and so on. They all are criminals and should be in jail for life. And they might end up in jail one day. Anyways, let's continue with some more news. And right now we are in Zaryadye Park, dear friends. I will turn camera so that you can see what I see. There is a bridge over the Moscow River, Uh, and this famous, world famous St. Basil's Cathedral, and some nice buildings. And this park, this square itself, this park is also nicely done. Good place to go for a walk. You know, if you have ever been in Moscow, by the way, you will agree that this city is definitely built for its residents and the guests. Extremely comfortable, by the way, and the city administration is definitely trying its best to make Moscow even more friendly to citizens, and they are doing quite good job, I should say. And yes, let's continue with some more news. And for example, we have a report from RIA Novosti, which is based on pro-Russian resistance on Kiev-controlled territory, that during their recent strikes on Kiev-controlled territory by Russian forces, long-range precise strikes, points of concentration of Kiev regime's forces and also foreign mercenaries or instructors were hit once again. Let's go through some details here. Russian troops have struck special forces of the armed forces of Ukraine and the foreign mercenaries in the Kiev region, according to Sergei Lebedev, coordinator of the pro-Russian resistance in Nikolaev. One hit in, and this is a quote, dear friends, one hit in Borispol near the airfield. They covered their unit of trained Banderite special forces. Understandably so. This resistance leader calls Banderites, these enemy forces. The stormtroopers were supposed to go to Volchansk area in the Kharkov region, where street fights began again. According to Lebedev, foreign mercenaries came under attack in Vyshgorod. The explosions in Vyshgorod were heard there at least several times, and one of the strikes were exactly on the point of concentration of these foreign mercenaries. And according to Lebedev, these were not your ordinary foreign mercenaries, probably high-ranking officers of NATO, so-called NATO Instructors, because according to information that Russian resistance has from the area, on the spot, emergency vehicles moved in, vehicles that were operated by foreign medic teams, probably military medics, right? There is not very detailed information on that, but what resistance is reporting that these emergency groups that went in to treat wounded ones from these foreigners, these emergency units were also foreigners themselves. So based on this information, I can assume that probably some high-ranking officers of NATO member states were neutralized during this strike in Vyshgorod area. Not the first and not the last time when Russian armed forces are neutralizing NATO officers and NATO personnel during this crisis. Hello everyone, if you find this video informative and interesting, if you like my work in general, please consider to support this independent media project from Russia. You can do it through several means, through PayPal with donations, or by subscribing to my Patreon and Boosty pages, where you can have access to full news updates. Links are on this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. Thank you.